good. How are you?
Good. So I kind of jumped in real quick and, just kind of shared that, the past series that we've shared with Dare to Win have kind of focused more on the sales side and how it doesn't have to be salesy. It can be very organic and just sharing. And then today, wanting to focus more on the social retail side as it pertains to building the team side of things. And, we'll get into the differences between social retail and multi-level marketing. But what I'd love to start off with is, how do you feel about recruiting? That's kind of like the elephant in the room right now, right? A lot of people say, oh, recruiting is icky. And so, for someone like you, where I know leadership is a huge part of your passion with this opportunity, how do you see recruiting?
Yeah, and I do want to acknowledge, I think a lot of people get scared or have a block when it comes to recruiting. That, sales is fine, but I just can't recruit. And the way I look at recruiting is very different. I think we have our hands on a very amazing opportunity where, not only from an income potential, but personal fulfillment potential is so great. And the way I like to think about it is, I work in corporate America too, but whenever I get approached by a recruiter who tells me, hey, there's this awesome opportunity where we think you'll be a great fit, it's so flattering to me when I hear that. When someone wants to recruit you to be part of your team, it's because you have something special. It's because you have something special. So I almost change the way I look at it as something that, I'm honored if someone comes to me because they see that I could be good for this particular opportunity or fit. So when people say, I don't know how to recruit people, you are flattering people when you are asking them to join them for an opportunity. And listen, we're not just asking anyone to join them, right? It's usually when you ask someone to join, it's because you see this person has potential, this person has a network, this person has an influence. So try to make that little shift in your head that says, this is a good thing that I'm reaching out to someone. You're presenting them with an opportunity that's, literally life-changing. So there's no shame, no nothing. You're making that connection and you're presenting someone with an opportunity. So that's really how I see it. And you made me think, Jen, about one thing, which is when we talk about recruiting, another block, I guess, that I hear people talk about, or the first questions they ask me when they hear recruiting or building a team is is this another MLM? Do you get that question a lot?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And
how do you think about that?
So I can understand where there can be some hesitation, and I think there's lots of different opportunities out there, and some have put a negative taste into people's mouths, and they take that forward to apply towards everything, when really, this is different. I too, I worked in corporate America, but at the same time I was doing that, I also was part of an MLM, a multi-level marketing company. But what we are doing with social retail is so far removed, other than we share products, that it's not one and the same. And so just like you talked about recruiting and sharing the opportunity, and it's flattering, we need to make sure that we're sharing those differences as well. For example, with an MLM, the only way you can earn significant income is by building a team. And so then you feel a whole different kind of pressure to just get anyone and everyone to join your team, right? And what really sets apart our social retailing is that there's those two distinct sides. And we've spent a lot of time talking about the sharing of the product and being able to simply share a promo code so that, you're earning income and the person you share the code with is benefiting as well. There's definitely that win-win on the sales side of social retailing. But on the business side, like you said, we are very specific to whom we invite into this opportunity. We want people who are willing to build relationships with others, who are looking for the best interest of others. Do we want to earn income? Of course we do, but that is not where the success is going to come from. The success comes from building that community, building that team, and being there for them, not just in getting them to sign up, but mentoring them and adding value to them so that they can carry that value forward based on what their goals are. And I definitely felt, with the MLM, it was just sign them. And that loss of relationship building and community wasn't there for me. But there's, so many other things, like a lot of MLMs, there's a buy-in. It's not just you have to buy a large package. You have to have monthly quotas that you hit each month. What are some others? You get paid maybe once or twice a month, right? Our social retailing, we get to, it's a minimal buy-in, right? $39.99 a year to be a social marketer. And with that, you're getting 2 websites, 2 mobile apps, right? So much, and with no overhead. And it's important to carry that on. We also get paid twice a day for our sales side of things. So it really is different. And I think, taking the time to educate others and ask them questions and learning about their goals and then sharing what this opportunity has to offer can really make a difference in how they view it, how they perceive it, and how they enter into it.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on one thing? Because I think this is really important point, which is, when I first joined, and I've never been a part of other MLMs before. I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I remember people who have really emphasized to me that the difference in Modere is that we have this dual-sided compensation plan. There's a sales side and, like you said, the business side. But to be honest, I didn't understand the gravity of why that is important. And you've mentioned this, but can you explain again one more time why having this 2-sided compensation plan is so different from just having one?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, the thing that I love is the social retail opportunity can be whatever an individual wants it to be. If maybe they only want to share products and that's where their comfort level is and they want to be able to cover the cost of their products or maybe earn $500 a month, they can focus on just that side. And maybe they don't want to mentor a team, build a team, lead a team, but they can introduce people who are looking for that. And, those people may only want to focus on the team side and being a leader, and that's where their passion lies. And the fact that they're completely separate and significant income can be earned off either side. I mean, passions change, growth happens. Sometimes people start off just sharing the products, but then see how life-changing it can be for people, both in health and wellness, but also in income. And, they may branch out, but they're not required, unlike an MLM, to do both sides in order to earn any kind of significant income. Yeah.
I think that's so important because I also joined with initially just for the sales side, and I thought, and then I saw the income that I could make, and that made me want to branch out to the other, the recruiting leadership part, which I now love so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that having that 2 sides almost opens up the opportunity, both sides. So you're uncapped, basically. You could go either side and you could do well. I love that.
Absolutely. And so, what else do you think, like we talked about it, somewhat, what else do you think gives recruiting a bad rap? Because you are so powerful as a leader and, providing the support that your team needs. So what else do you think, leads to recruiting getting a bad rap?
Yeah. Oh, great question. I think one area that I want to be more mindful of, and I think a lot more people could be more mindful of in having the recruiting conversations, is in understanding the other person's goals. So the person that we're trying to recruit, understanding their goals and setting the right expectations. I think we have a tendency, I use the royal we, myself included, to get so excited about the opportunity that we just, give them all the information about the recruiting without understanding, is that what they want? Because at the end of the day, people have different goals. Some people want to bring in $500 a month to their family, and that's great. some people have a goal of bringing $10,000 to their family, and that's also great. But then understanding those different goals, you really need to then set an expectation with each of those people. What is the work that's required to get that goal? Someone who is looking at $500, their amount of effort that they need to put in is obviously going to look very different than someone who is looking to bring in $10,000 a month. Apples and oranges. So I think sometimes we, I myself included, don't do an elaborate enough job of setting that expectation of the work that would be involved in trying to meet that goal. So we also use the term passive income a lot in this industry, passive income. And I think some people could have a misperception about the word passive and sort of assume that, once you join, money comes in. And, they don't see it coming in the first month, and then they're like, give up, this doesn't work. Like, this doesn't work. Clearly it's a scam, it doesn't work. But the truth is, I actually dislike the word passive because to me, one, there's nothing passive about it, right? It does require you, whether that's on the sales side, it requires you to put yourself out there. That's not passive. Whether that's sharing, to have conversations, that's not passive. And recruiting is the same thing. It requires you to put yourself out there, to introduce people, have conversations. There's nothing passive about it. So I think the word passive, I always call it, is not passive income, it's passion income. Because the work itself is not hard. Really, it's not hard, especially if you're passionate about the product, you believe in the product, and you believe in the opportunity and what it could bring. There's, it's easy to be passionate about it. But I think we really need to do a better job in listening, in understanding what the other people are looking for, and in setting that expectation with them of what they should expect in terms of the work to put in within that first month, the first 3 months, within the first year. And whenever there's people fall off the bandwagon or feel it's not working, it's oftentimes just a mismatch between their expectation of the work that should be done and the more realistic expectation that should be done, that should be put in.
Right. No, I love passion income, and I totally think you're spot on. You wouldn't open up a new business, you wouldn't buy into a franchise, open up a new business and expect that you are earning income within the first month, right? It takes time to build, it takes time to grow, it takes that consistency, and that applies to this opportunity as well. But I love that it's a passion that you can have as you're creating it and building it and having that consistency. I love that.
Yeah. So Jen, I know we're almost at 15 minutes here, and is there any other closing thoughts or anything that I missed? So when we talk about recruiting, about opportunities, any other thing you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I'd love to share that if you are entertaining, entering into an opportunity in any form, ask questions. Don't hesitate to reach out. We have an amazing promo coming up for our specific opportunity, and what we do, basically they're getting to, sign up, practically for free to become a social marketer and be part of our social retailing opportunity. But, we have opportunities where people can ask questions, listen, and not feel pressured, right? It should be something where you look at knowledge never being a disadvantage, right? Learn everything you can. If you're feeling like you are working in a job where you're not paid what you're worth, or you're dealing with debt and needing to come up with other ways to earn income to help cover the cost of debt. Maybe you want to pay for a vacation in cash, maybe it's time flexibility. There can be so many different things that you're looking for. And like you mentioned, Cindy, it's the art of us listening to what it is that the other person wants and needs. But it's also up to them to take the time to look into the opportunities, to ask the questions, to not feel pressured. And if someone has reached out to you, like I'm reaching out to people that I would love to lock arms with, and if it's for them, wonderful. I'm so excited. And, for the upcoming promo that we have going through the end of the month, becoming part of our team and part of our network, it's the perfect time, right? But if it's not for them, that's okay too. And I'm there to help them in that regard as well. I'm not going to, you want the right people, you want them to be passionate about it, you want them serving other people just as we want to serve them. And I just think that this opportunity to reach out to you, to reach out to me with questions as to what is this and what would it look like if this was my goal, I think we have that in the palm of our hands to share with them, and hope that they're open to asking those questions.
Yeah. Good knowledge is never a disadvantage. So absolutely reach out if it's at all, if you're curious about it and just want to learn more. Please do. And I hope to hear from you soon, and wishing you all a great rest of the week.
Thanks so much, Cindy. Take care, everyone.